My name is Muhammad Yungai. I'm a visual artist. Right now I specialize in murals, but I love art in general. When I was 3, my father gave me a crayon, and that was the beginning of a magical journey. No, I'm making fun, but it was very much like that. Like, I remember before going to school, drawing all the time. Mostly because my father was an artist, so there was a lot of like art supplies around all the time, and I saw him doing art, and so I wanted to imitate that. So I became really good at drawing. And when I was in 5th grade, I did this drawing of Michael Jackson. And of course, 5th grade is what, 1984? Michael Jackson's the coolest guy on the planet, and I did this drawing of him that really shocked me. Like, before that, I thought that I liked art. But after that, I thought that I had talent. And that was the beginning of me trying to actually do shading and blending and actually make portraits of people with pencil. I went to McDonald 35 in New Orleans, and I had Mr. Cotton, and he was a really good art teacher. But he was not the type of teacher that was going to inspire the rest of the class to be artists. But that school also hired a professional artist to come in and teach some of the more talented kids, and that was Richard Thomas. And Richard Thomas basically just gave me the seed that, okay, you can do this as a professional. You can have a life and enjoy what it is that you do for a living. After high school, my creative energy went from visual art to rap. You know, I was trying to become outcast, basically, which is what brought me to Atlanta. Because the New Orleans rhyming at that time was very basic. Bounce music was really prevalent in New Orleans, which I wasn't really into. So moving up here had to do with being able to find a place where my creative outlets that I could explore and be successful. And so coming to Atlanta helped me to be able to do that. I discovered my favorite artist to this day, William Tolliver, at Gallery Royale on Royal Street in New Orleans. So whenever I missed my bus, I went to Gallery Royale and I would look at Tolliver's work. And his work was about the journey of Black folk. But it was impressionist. It was like Van Gogh. It was like Cezanne. It was all of these old masters, but it was the style. But the subject matter was Black people and our journey from slavery in America to where we are now. And I don't know why that work touched me so much. I don't know if it was the colors or the way that he painted Black people, but it was just beautiful. And that work is what got me into wanting to paint. What I'm doing right now is mostly murals in schools. And the reason that I mainly do murals in schools is because that is the thing in art that has given me the most sense of purpose and the most sense of satisfaction. My natural instincts towards creativity is, how can I make something that's beautiful and positive that's going to make my community better? So when I saw the school doing this work that's making the community better and it's beautiful and it's positive, I wanted to be a part of that. My daughters went to a KIPP school. The teachers and the administrators were more amazing than I had ever seen at a school. I'd never seen this small of a group do so many wonderful things. And it's just something that I wanted to be a part of. I started volunteering at the school, and a couple of years after the school was founded, when they started a fine arts program, the principal asked me if I wanted to teach as an artist. And so I started teaching art, and I didn't have any experience, but I accepted the position because of my history with with Richard Thomas in New Orleans, and me knowing that I wanted to become an artist because he was my teacher. So, okay, if I can do that for young students, then I'll definitely do it. In terms of leaving teaching, there was a bigger reason, and that was that when I started teaching, I was still teaching myself how to paint and how to be an artist. I taught for 10 years, and during that time, I actually had a couple of students who went to college and they pursued art, and they called me back and had a couple of questions like, hey, how do I handle this? Or how do I do this in art? And I didn't have the answers because I never did it. And so I was like, well, I actually need to go ahead and pursue becoming an artist for real, full time. And then if I ever go back to teaching, then not only will I be able to teach technique, but then I could also teach the journey of an artist as well. Being a creative full time, I don't know, I guess it just makes me happy. I'm still fairly new at doing it full time, so there's still, things that I have to learn, because you do become as much of a business person as a creative person. So there's a lot of things that you have to learn to be successful. Sometimes adding wow factor or adding that extra step, that might take a day. But that wow factor, those finishing details, that is like the last 5 to 10% of a project. And if you don't do that 5 to 10%, well, it's now just an average mural. But if you lean into your more creative side and you don't worry about time or money, because if they paid you $5,000 to do a $5,000 project, why are you giving them $10,000 worth of work? Well, if the work is important to you, the money is just you eating and paying your rent, but the work is the thing that you're going to leave behind. The work is the thing that is the legacy of who you are and what you want to leave to the world. I think the biggest thing for me is that the Black community moves forward. Is that in 20 years from now, we're further ahead, we're further united as a people, and we're further ahead in terms of our goals as a community. And I want my work to help facilitate that. Because most of my work is inside of schools, the majority of public in a city won't see it, because it's only viewed by the schools, the students, the administrators, and the parents. So when I get an opportunity to do one outside of school, I really want to leave my mark. I want people to say, now, wow, that's a mural. But I also want it to fit the community that it's going to serve. And I think that that's very important. Definitely, if I'm working on canvas, I'm in more control, because everything is right here. It's not affected by wind or height or whether I have a lift or not. It's not affected by the rain. So all of these other things that you have to take into consideration with murals, if I'm just working on canvas, and generally when I'm working on canvas, I'm taking my ideas and I'm executing completely my ideas, and I get to decide which direction I want to go. And so I definitely have more control on canvas. I would love to say that I just want to make something beautiful. And if we didn't have the history that we had, I would want to do that. I would want to just make it beautiful, but I can't just make it beautiful. It has to also be purposeful. And so if I have a piece of art that somebody looks at every morning, if I created a painting of Barack Obama every morning and someone looks at that painting and their child decides that they too can be president one day because of that, that will mean that I have done my job as an artist. My name is Muhammad Yungai. I am a visual artist, and this is my voice, and this is my life.